This is such a dumb problem. I'm stressing over like 6 inches. I could just cut it. I could just cut it and be done. Do as I say, not as I do. I'm already out here. I wasn't gonna run all the way back home, but all I had was this little baby roller. I only brought this because I was using it to roll battens and that kind of stuff. I wasn't even thinking about all the wood. This is gonna take forever. I'll do what I can today. A pump sprayer would probably be even better, honestly, because you just need something to get this stain onto the wood. Then you can back roll it if you want. I probably should have made that cut with a circular saw. I just get a much straighter cut with that, even with all the fighting and everything like that. It's just a lot nicer cut. If I had a track saw, I totally would use a track saw. I do not have one. Refill. You know, I keep going back and forth. Should I install it and then stain it? Should I stain it, then install it? Can't say that I have a preference, because if you stain it the way that I'm doing, I feel like you waste less material. You give the stain a much better opportunity to really soak into the wood instead of just running down. If you are in inclement weather, say it's going to rain soon, and you're doing this under a covered area, then it's not going to impact you, because this particular stain does take a longer time to really soak in and dry. So I don't know, it's kind of a gamble. If you stain before installing, though, you also risk kind of wasting some stain, which is kind of weird because you're saving stain because none of it's dripping off anywhere. But you're also wasting stain because you end up staining the whole board and then cutting off what you need to get things to fit. So then you just stained a bunch of scrap wood. So I don't know. I have not yet decided which is better. I suppose they're all just as good. This is one nice thing about staining before installing it. Once it's installed, a lot of times you can't get the end grain. I'm going to keep working at this. I'll see you guys in a little bit. That looks about right. Got a splinter. Got it. Might be wrong, but of all of the pieces I could have picked to put there, I think that was the offcut from this plywood, so what are you gonna do? I don't know. I'm trying to make it look inconsistent so that it is the appearance of individual board and battens, and then I go and pick the offcut from the same piece. I gotta show something to you guys. There is some mysterious animal, I don't know what it is, but it's freaking crapping all over this place. Maybe you guys can tell me what that is. I don't know, man. Mystery animal that apparently just uses this as a giant bathroom. What are you gonna do? Maybe when I get doors on here, that's gonna get resolved, hopefully. Let me think about this. If I cut this all the way up to here, all the way across here, I'm so torn. I am so torn. I don't know what to do. This is such a dumb little problem, but basically this is a full 8-foot sheet, right? So I have 2 feet down at the bottom, I have 8 feet here. That technically puts me up at about 10 feet right there, which is perfect because it's going to line up with a perfect triangle right at the gable, which is exactly what it's supposed to be. The problem, sorry, this is so behind the scenes, but there's cars driving by and I'm sitting here pointing and talking like that. I know. I'm not even living here yet and people probably think I'm crazy. Life of a YouTuber. The problem that I'm running into though is that if I leave it at 8 feet, you can see the opening, my 10 by 10 opening is actually slightly lower than that. I'm going to end up with a seam there, and I could put more Z-flashing across, but then I'm going to have a weird piece of Z-flashing just like 7 inches above that, and it's going to be just a little too far up for me to cover it up with trim. if I cut it down to be flush with the opening, it will make trimming this out a lot easier on this side. But then I'm gonna have to cut every single molding on the back side that doesn't have any openings if I want it to keep that symmetrical look. Let me think about this.
A few moments later.
This is such a dumb problem. I'm stressing over like 6 inches. I could just cut it. I could just cut it and be done. Yeah, okay. Okay. No turning back now. I cut it. You probably can barely tell, but I cut that down. So now, let's see if I can point to it. Now, that top is going to line up with the trim that's going to be on the back side here, which should line up with the trim that's going to go all the way across, and I think everything will be better. I don't know, it feels like I'm wasting wood. I'm trying not to waste wood, but in this case, I think the end product is going to be better. It might cost me 1 extra sheet or something of plywood, because now it's not like a perfect triangle up there. I'm going to have to cut slightly off piece, but it'll be worth it. All right. I can go home. I can sleep tonight. Yeah, welcome to that winter weather.